To CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for February 21st, 2021. We're here on Cathy's website, CathyDSlaght.com, and we're going to scroll down. And to get on the Zoom call, you're going to click here. If you'd like to be part of Cathy's SRC4u Daily Energy Clearing Group, you can click here, and all the information will be there to read. We're going to go over onto the Zoom call, which is free, by the way. Up the Zoom app, and the call will be live, so lower the volume on your speakers.
Really enjoy being with you guys, and we can do so much, and so I'm very thankful to be back and that my computer's working.
And just to remind everybody that tomorrow is 2/22/2022, and I guess it's a huge Ascension Day up till July 22nd.
Yep. I don't understand all that as much as I should, but I'm getting there. I'm reading on it. And that's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Whoever was talking.
Well, it's a big Ascension Day because there's actually 3 portals that are open tomorrow, and they're all bringing in light.
Yes.
Wow.
All bringing in light. Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's wonderful.
And did you hear the part about the light, that all these people that took the vaccine or whatever, they will be healed? Did you hear that part about it all?
No, I didn't.
I didn't, but I've always believed that.
Yeah. So I have just a little bit of a mantra that you guys can say that I heard last night, and
all right, let's get to it. Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah.
One of the things that a lady that I follow has said is that we want to go right from 3D to 5D. That 4D is a dimension where a lot of the entities hang out. And right now, they're what they want is our souls, and so we want to skip right over that. So we want to say, I am divine love. I am divine gratitude. I am. That's it. It's very easy.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Yep.
That is wonderful. We definitely include that.
Just keep yourself in as high a vibration as possible tomorrow, and just beam light everywhere.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
And beam it out all over the planet, in all timelines, and for everybody.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's so much we can be doing. I learned that from this situation.
Cathy, you need to put an I am on the end of that gratitude.
Oh, one last I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Let me tell you where we are with the group. I missed a few days doing the energy work for the group, but just a few days. I'll tell you what I think happened. I think, according to what someone read and called me, and I thank y'all so much for working on me, those of you that worked on me. It looks like, according to Mark Tong, who wrote a little book on this kind of thing, he's well known here in St. Pete. He lives here. If you have any kind of illness, look back 30 days for an emotional upset. And of course, 30 days ago, Ray and Marty had died almost the same day. Then I believe I got hit with radiation, and I'm just real thankful. I had at one point when I went to the doctor, they did an EKG. It appeared I'd had a slight heart attack, and my kidneys were trying to shut down. So it was not a pleasant experience. But let me tell you, boy, did I learn a lot, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm going to show you a few little changes that have taken place. First of all, we've got to identify the SRC. We know anyway, this group knows this. I don't know if everybody does, but we got to do more than just run our scans. We've got to get in physically and eliminate these factors that lead to disease. We've got to remove them, and well, I've got that in there twice. And then we've got to increase what brings in the health. For example, through this, I discovered I have a high heavy metal toxicity. So obviously that would draw on some stress related to them turning that radiation up. And so when I did go to the doctor, ironically, they did those tests, and then they said, well, let's just do a COVID test. I also had COVID. And however, by the time I got the call from the health department saying I had it, they said, well, you're not contagious. It's over. And so I do have to tell you this. When I was able to get to the SRC and just hit the wonder click, my words to ponder were, now kiss my ass and admit I was right. So, I don't know about that, but it definitely was telling me. So there's a lot of factors involved, and I want to show you here a list, and this is going to be an ongoing list, but these are things. Let me just go over it quickly. Some of the things we have to be aware of. We can do our SRC and focus on these things if they come up, but obviously unhealthy lifestyle choices. Just a few things, and again, I hope this will be a group effort. We'll all add these things: mold, pathogens, response to stress, heavy metal toxicity, chemical toxicity, exposures to electromagnetic fields. I have been very humbled over that because I had my little gadgets thinking I was very protected. I've added to those gadgets, it seems like I am now, petroleum-based fertilizers. That's a big one. You wouldn't think that it needs to be separate, but it looks like it does. Environmental pollution, glyphosate, another one. You wouldn't think. You'd think this could all be together, but it does not look like that. Poor nutrition, poor relationships. I went ahead and added non-beneficial timelines, over-drugged, over-supplementation, neurological, psychological, and retrovicular activating system. And for those not familiar with that, the retrovicular activating system is your gateway to the information that's coming in from the matrix. And just as an example, I had a lady come in for a session yesterday, very upset. She's an energy worker herself, and lately all her, not all obviously, but many of her clients are canceling last minute. She's extremely angry. And when we scanned, this was the problem, and I actually remembered she's a real regular client. When the first person a couple weeks ago canceled on her last minute, and she was livid, whereas I'm kind of used to it, doesn't bother me, but she was livid, and what she did is she could have activated this gateway, which then all these other things happened. The best comparison I can give for the retrovicular activating system is when you buy a car and all of a sudden you see all the cars just like yours that you never noticed before. So anyway, I did the scan, and then I accidentally erased the number part of it, but I want to show you ours today. Heavy metal toxicity, GMO foods, and that would be very appropriate after the weekend. Nutrition, and then we do want this retrovicular activating system work. Going on in, though, oh shoot, I messed it up. All right, we did not want the SRC scan today, but I'm going to show you. It does have some new things. But then this is our next project, and here you go. You see, I'm going to be reading a book called The Owner's Manual for the Brain, and that's going to be our next project, the brain, which you'll see why in a little bit. But anyway, we did not want the scan today. We just wanted to focus on this. Let's go in there and do it. And one of the other things I learned through this, and we've been kind of playing around with this before, is the power of the sustenance balancer. So you can see this heavy metal toxicity is a chronic stress. So we'll go in first, see if Hashem will help. have to see a little higher number, a charge. Nope. So this would be an example. Probably I don't, we have to look into some supplements or products that will assist with this if this comes up. Okay, so we put it in 3 times, just like good old Tesla talked about the 369. Now we've got the GMO foods stress. Even though there really are no negatives, perhaps, because we learned from it, but got a little stress there. So let's then we've got the nutrition. So we do have some pretty good nutrition cocktails in here. Let's just look and see. Nope, we don't want that at this point. So let's just go in to the dispenser. Let's just go into, at this point, all that stuff and see what kind of information we get.
Question?
Yeah, oh good. Please.
Good morning and welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back.
As you update this list, how do we access that?
I'm going to send it to you. You're going to have quite a long email today because I've been making notes all these days that we weren't on. And so, yes, thank you for asking.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, now you can see we're asking, this would be something for us all to realize. I will tell you right now, this is something I realized from my ordeal, is I had gotten a little lax with my supplements because basically I'd lost faith in what I see out there in the nutrition industry with so many pharmaceuticals purchasing these companies, etc. But I sure have changed my mind on that. So let's just, for now, we can see, and I want to share with you, we're looking at beets, mushrooms. I don't know about this soy, it's always in there. But one of the things I'm learning, which you all maybe have learned also, is we need lots of reddish purple foods. Red potatoes, red kale, red cabbage. If we can get our nutrition up, I don't think they can throw anything of us. We are that powerfully put together. Let's just go ahead and start that. And then we've got the retrovicular activating system. And I'm pretty excited about learning more about that myself. And that's how I got to the book, Owner's Manual for the Brain. I went in to I put retrovicular activating system inscribed and then tested the books to see which one was a high priority. And that Owner's Manual for the Brain was 98%. So I'm pretty excited. Well, I'll show you a little bit more on that from something else as we go through the notes. For a while we weren't together. Let's just see where we are with that. So in other words, this kind of explains we see what we expect to see. And yeah, that's a good thing for us to receive that code. Let's do it. Now, back to the sustenance balancer. I now do that every day, and I go down the whole thing, all that stuff, all that food, all that water, etc. Takes a while. But what I've been doing, and sometimes you have to do a little searching, but for example, let's just go in here and see if we want this code. What I've been doing, I'll show you in our notes, one that we have been asking for with a high priority on a pretty regular basis. But look, that's respectable, so I think we're going to do that one today, but is facilitate self-healing. And that has also been a very high number. So there's so much that you can do with the sustenance balancer. It's quite amazing. I'm in the wrong thing. Wait a minute. I like to just test it. No need to waste time. But just go ahead and evaluate. This is extremely subtle. But we can see right here on the yang level, the shin and vertebrae L3, L5, the heart, waistband, liver meridians, all the vertebrae, it looks like, kidneys, and the stomach spleen meridians. Then down here for yin, which they say the yang is actually the more significant. We've got dermatome, chest, lungs, kidney, bladder, vertebrae, and more vertebrae. So now just go ahead and balance. And then there's a couple of things you could do just to add if you're in the mood. Go ahead and add your auto. We're going to talk a lot about amino acids also, because every day we continued in all kinds of categories asking for amino acids. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that. Let's enhance. And we're going to start, what I've been doing, I start here, but if it goes up, I'll ask again if you look at this level before I go to the next to see if that's all we want. So we've got that. Now let's also see if it, after that we want to, because I kind of left that out. Let's see if that will be necessary as well. But this is something I couldn't do for myself while I was at my worst. But you will find if you've got people with a few symptoms, you may be able to do some help with them, you know, relieve the stress of it with this program. Yeah, look at that. That's actually higher. So we'll have to come back and do this one too. I should have checked it first. And so that's that as far as, and we've got our dispenser going. We'll let that be for now. But let's just go in here. And I think it's wise to go ahead and do a wonder click first. But let's look in here, just see what this says. And that's what we want, is the wonder click. Oops. And by the way, we can go back and we can have the heavy metal toxicity along with the retrovicular activating system, do those together. But let's see where we are. There's that brain. It's interesting. Look at that. This is one of the things, when we amp up our own brain power, we may have a bit better discernment. Go ahead and put that in there. What do you call a cow eating grass in a paddock? A lawn mower. All right. Now, some of these words to ponder can be pretty significant. That one, I don't know so much. Fright, trepidation. Let's just look at something here. Oh my goodness. Just go in there. Sedation, grounding. And so social, we're still maybe too isolated. Some stress related to bacteria. Let's just look, see. Let's see, it's a pathogen panel. Now, or what we're doing here is just subtle. Brain again. On average, 40% of all hotel rooms in the United States remain empty every night. That's a thought. See, there's that panic. We want to, in order to keep our voltage up, we need to keep that under control. Okay, so we'll do these things in reference to fright and panic. And joints. Let's just see where we are with that. That's, oops, put it in the wrong. Doesn't look like a real high stress at this moment in time. It may be more of an emotional stress. Anyway, so a few things were added. I'll send you this. A few things were added below too for this startup. All these are very high priority, and most of them you're familiar with. But this balance was like a 98% priority to have in our scan. This triple burner meridian is turns out that is such a powerful factor related to our consciousness that's now a high priority. This clear negative long-term adverse effects of COVID-19 vaccine. We don't know that there are, but Pfizer released a report, and they're sure no right-wing conspiracy theorists and the information. Look it up for yourself, but it does appear that there are some negative effects. So we can put that in, especially if you have someone you know personally who requests you to clear this for them. This is a wonderful substance balancer way to go with it. And so that's just a thought. This is an interesting one. I tested this again. Do we want to keep this in here? It's a very high priority. Clear stress related to technocracy, which is all of our technical organizations, etc., trying to control everything. We don't want that. This was an interesting one. Connect chronotube. That's our light. All the information. Connective tissue, huge, which ties in with the triple heater. I don't know why. That's not contract removal of medical system. It's media. Let me see. I don't know if there's any more new ones or not. Yeah, deep intimacy with self, very high priority. We did one day, we don't often ask for this, but one day we did ask for Earth 2022. This Ebola is still a priority, and that's, I don't know why, but I've kept it in there because of that. Let's see, I think facilitate self-healing was already in there, but let's see. I think that's it. I think that's the new ones. And we did, I added Ray's special SSTTs, and I have that little book ready to send to Joanna to get formatted, and all those cocktails will be in there. One of the things that was so interesting is, and we didn't ask for this as a priority on a regular basis, but the amino acids that we're going to talk about, and there's a way Ray's SSTTs can maybe work with that. So anyway, that's that. Oh, and there's a few more, but let's see. Yeah, this was an interesting one. And again, this is not right-wing conspiracy stuff. We know this. You may remember, I can't remember what country it was, where they brought our diplomats back because do you all remember that? They were sending them frequencies. Does that ring a bell with anybody? And we had a very high resonance for having this in our startup scan.
There was a segment on 60 Minutes, I believe, last night about it.
Really? Okay. Wow. I didn't know that, but I don't know what I was looking at, and it just made sense to add that, and I tested the priority, and it was high. So, and ironically, the people most affected by the satellite frequencies might be your very sensitive people.
And in Australia, they were using LRAD, and it's implemented here on these cell towers and buildings and stuff like that. And the way you can tell if it's LRAD, it's a little square box. And they are dishing out frequency that makes people deathly ill.
Well, you know, there is something interesting going on. I had a lady call last night, and she had started the very same symptoms that I had had. Mine started with that horrendous headache. And I tested, of course, priority for Chi, what to do for her. and she actually wanted to blast away resonators like that. And so I just kept doing this with the substance balancer. She texted me this morning and says she feels great. Now that, again, we're talking pure stress. We don't know what was going on with her. She needs to get a checkup, but it didn't hurt. And I think we need to be aware of this kind of thing. For me also, let's just gals our mantra in, by the way. And we're not resonating real strong at this point, but we go all the way up to the 100. Anyway, one of the things I learned about this is to be much more on top of prevention. These are a few codes. What I'm going to do, I've got so many codes, I'm going to go ahead and update the Grab-A-Boy and just send you the Grab-A-Boy, because it's too, I don't know why my thing is I put this down and then get to add it to the Grab-A-Boy myself, so it's going to do that. A couple of them, there's no scan, but this is a definite factor in illness, overdrugged, and also over supplementation. Now, related, if radiation comes up for you, here are some things that are related to radiation. And I've got this list in here as well. And this, by the way, is all documented. We're not talking. There are many scientists that have spoken of these things for a long time, and we've got these rays coming at us all the time. I'm thankful for the rays because they give us a lot of things we can do, but we've got to be protected. We've got to do what we need to do. So, and everybody has to figure that out for themselves, test, et cetera, but there's a few bits of information. And I do have Shield the public.
And I apologize for interrupting. To research bentonite clay, to research activated charcoal, and to research chaga, C-H-A-G-A. It's a mushroom, and you can put it in your coffee, you can put it in your drink, you can put it in whatever.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, please do let us know, and we can make a list, and people can scan. Now, this is another one. This is what's happening also for some people from the radiation. Actually, is respiratory distress. Here's a pure glyphosate. Now, this is another huge one that you might want to look into, is the zeolite. Now, some say that some of the vaccines are disconnecting us from our God source. I'm not seeing that kind of resonance, but there was a code for it. This was an interesting one. Prevent mass die-off from vaccines. And I will tell you, looking at the numbers, we have a reason to maybe want to send this code around. The collagen, fascia, this is all part of our body's communications network, so that's in there. Build health, regain freedoms, keep healthy liquids moving in body. We didn't have a code yet for that. Balance the chi between upper, middle, and lower areas. Actually, we're seeing some changes even in brain structure and function caused by radiation. And I don't know why I wrote this non-materialistic mind down. It must have been a book or something. But what I had thought we were going to go into next was the power of our imagination, which was a 94% benefit. So, but it looks like there's something ahead of that, which I'll show you as we get to it. I hope I don't offend anyone. I do have a few codes in here about the Canadian stuff. So just take it out if you don't like it. Clear confusion, contradictions, and censorship related to COVID-19. If you're not aware of the true definition of fascism, you might want to look it up. Here's that one mentioned: block the political influence of BlackRock. There's no sense in having politicians that are motivated by anything other than to take care of the citizens. And they do seem to get awfully rich, a whole bunch of them anyway.
And it came out, I apologize for interrupting, and it came out, anyways, Mr. Schwab, Claude Schwab, made mention that he owns the governments of the world. Right. So if you guys want to look into that and do some research and send him love and blessings.
Yeah, all we want is to grow in our own energy, and so we can help others. Yeah, and some don't want any help. Immune system collapse. Of course, remember the healing codes are healing codes, so you're not sending a code to collapse the healings. The immune system, you're sending a code to balance. This is the one we wanted a lot. This facilitates self-healing. Here's your chronotube code. There are some, it looks like there are some criminal acts related to the COVID-19 vaccine. However, no code for that. This is the Grab-A-Void miracle code. Anyway, now, there are some talking about other biological weapons coming our way. I think the whole key is to keep our energy up, and one of the keys seems to be eat a lot of purple foods. You can look into that on your own, but a few more codes. And again, forgive me if you don't have the same thoughts. Just take the code out. Yeah.
What would you say that E plus BS is?
That's the miracle code from Grab-A-Void.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his miracle code is E plus VS, and there's a code for it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that I thought that's fun to have in there. Now the idea is that one of the next things coming our way is this right here. I don't know if that's true or not, but there is a code to send it back to whoever created it. Test for priority. Just a few little things here in reference to that. And you can, again, look that stuff up on your own. I personally am not worried about it. Don't forget the mitochondrial cocktail. What we're wanting to do and what may have been interfered with is our genetic information. And that's when I was looking, I couldn't figure out why all the time so many of us are asking for the amino acids. Now, you may have noticed we didn't ask for today. It wasn't related to anything, but it looks to me like if anybody really wanted to mess with human psychology, that's the route that they would go, because the amino acids have all the coding, and that information is then fed to the DNA, which turns out to be a crystal. So it was rather thought-provoking to look at some of that amino acid information. Just a few notes here. We're being helped to advance so that changes are beneficial and lead to a better life for all. We are activating wisdom within the cells. Apparently, we're getting some good energy to help us. Cut the cords tying the masses to mainstream media. Again, I may be in the doghouse over that. Forgive me, but if you don't agree, just take the code out. Repair DNA. This was a priority. Messenger RNA performance. A couple other things I added that maybe down the road we will get some codes for. Expose those who aided, abetted, or actively participated in the formulation and execution of a common plan for a pandemic. Unfortunately, there does seem to be some evidence of that. It's hard to look at. Here's the next one. Every person can easily extinguish between good and evil and right and wrong. There is a code. The allegation is that the world's governments have come under the controlling influence of corrupt and criminal power structures. So, well, there was a code for this: vaporize controlling influence of corrupt and criminal power structures on the world's governments. If you don't feel that way, take this out. Here's another one: the factual collapse of current hijacked system and its institutions. The people now take back their sovereignty, bring justice to the world. This was just a few more added. I forgot I added these. I think this was a part of one of our Grab-A-Void scans, and I at that time didn't realize it's going to be so long before I was back, and I put it in there, but I think that's what that is. I'll just leave it. Now, this is interesting. There is a group of attorneys getting together to protest some of the things that have happened related to the vaccines. And so if you want to listen to that, great. And then here's this amino acid scan, which it's very interesting to do that, and especially when we have a lot of mention of it in our scans. And look at this right here. Even if we just started adding the little Bragg's liquid aminos, Let's just see what we look like with that at this moment in time.
Wow, you have been one busy lady. Looking at the slide on the far right of how much information that you've gone through, and then compared to what you need or is in this, it's just amazing.
Well, you know, I love to do this. Everybody has a different thing. I love this.
I agree with you.
And I still remember when Dr. Kersey first looked at the SRC. And at that point, most of us, we were, you know, adding our things. It's well equipped. But Dr. Kersey looked at it. He said, this is a platform for anything you could ever want to do. And I never forgot it. And he, you know, Dr. Kersey has had some health challenges himself. I'm planning on talking to him today. But many of these lists are from Dr. Kersey, the amino acids, etc. He has been amazing. And if I'm understanding him correctly, he now thinks the SRC is more powerful than the radionics machines. But I'll tell you what makes it the most powerful is two things. We've got to take better care of our nutrition, but we've got to start working more with our imagination. And quit talking about what we don't like, etc. For me, anyway, but I want to show you this last thing then.
And I'm going to interrupt. And the other thing is what Sharon brought to us this morning. I am ... That is so powerful. And the fact that I am and how powerful we are. Especially as a group when we're on the same page and we come from the heart love. I mean, you honestly feel it from the love section of the heart and radiate it out. Just want to share that.
Exactly. And that's why the I am can be so powerful. We come equipped, and over whatever has happened, many people will never be receptive to this concept. But those of us who are, and we're in the process, more and more of us learning, thanks to some of the things that we consider a negative, like our wireless radiation. We got our internet. So that idea, you go back up to that statement, to be grateful for everything. And this is kind of interesting. I was real excited to get into imagination, except then in a scan, I realized our next priority is the brain first, before we can do our imagination. This is my resource, which you saw really resonated highly as well. And so I'll be reading that. It's a long book, so we'll be spending some time on the brain. But just for fun, let's see where we look at this moment in time. We are, with the brain, in possession of the most powerful gadget. It's as simple as that. There is no more powerful. So let's look at this. We're looking, well, it's a good thing to receive this code, but I think we're also looking pretty good. Let's just see, since it was a little bit at chronic with that 98, let's just see if we want to add anything to it. Yeah, we can take a charge. Just 1 minute. Let's just go in here and change self-awareness, since we're working on the brain. and what we're going to do with the sustenance balancers. I'll do heavy metal toxicity and reticular activating system and amino acids. And we'll go through all the categories for that. And I'm going to go ahead and send you the SRC startup, the changes in that right now, but then I'm going to go in and I'll send this amino acid scan. Then I'm going to go up and clean up the codes, add them to the Grabavoy, and get that to you, so you have the whole list. Any thoughts? Any questions or thoughts?
Thank you.
Oh,
You are amazing.
well, we're all doing this kind of work. We're all doing it in our own way. And for some reason, I just love finding this information, and we know what we can do. And we're not just doing it for ourselves. Our own energy influences everything around us. And if you feel up to it, what I've been doing is when I listen, and I'm not listening to much news, I'll tell you, but when I try every day to touch base and make sure, at least that we're all still here. But regardless, you can go in and test priority for Qi to treat certain situations. And if it comes up, what can it hurt? Put it in, hit the wonder click. Because, what's that?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just out of curiosity, how many pages is this?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's going to be broken down. I think it makes sense to put all those codes together in the Grabavoy. Now, the Grabavoy is a whole bunch of pages, and a lot of them you all are going to take out. I've got some Christian codes, etc. And when I read something or hear it, if that sounds like a good code, I go look for the code. So I get a little bit weird about it. But that one will be a lot of pages. The others won't be too bad. But this, I'm real anxious to get the phrase special SSTs to you, because I think there's a lot we can do with that. And it is in our priority list now, too, for our startups, and especially with this amino acid information. So that'll go out today, and I'm glad to be back with you guys. Anything else to
We're
add?
glad to have you back.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, it was a real learning experience, and I didn't like it much. So
I want to say thank you to Cathy, because going over there and trying to help her, I've learned a lot. And in the process of learning from Cathy and all the different things, I just want to say thank you to Annie, Sharon, and Deborah. I just want to say thank you guys. You guys really helped me in a period of time when I really needed help.
And that's the first thing I had meant to say. So my brain cylinders probably aren't on track. Is what I don't know what I would have done without Joanna. What a lesson as to being alone and sick. Now, I have a wonderful daughter, but my daughter is pregnant, and I did not dare let her in this apartment. And if it hadn't been for Joanna coming over here, that's who was able to take me to the doctor, take me for my blood work, et cetera, et cetera. And thank you, Joanna.
Oh, you're
Yay,
welcome.
sweet Joanna. Yay, sweet
Oh, I
Joanna.
love doing
Absolutely.
it, but
We are so grateful for everything
Yes,
you did.
she is an angel. And like I said,
Oh my
I meant to
gosh.
say that first thing, and my brain isn't quite hopping. But it's just, but if you know anybody, sick, and they're alone, you might want to remember how much appreciated you would be when you can help them out.
and the
So,
group here as a
yes.
support group. I mean,
Oh my gosh,
it was
it was amazing. So I'm so grateful. And so with that, I will see you guys tomorrow.
Love y'all.
All right,
All
glad
right,
to have you
thanks,
back,
Cathy.
Cathy. We love you.
Love you
Love you.
too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you, Cathy.
Includes the SRC4u Zoom call with CathyDSlaght. Thank you for participating. We look forward to seeing you again. Until then, take care, and most of all, be well.